morning, guys. So I started this channel mainly just to help other people learn how to invest in real estate. So I've had a lot of people that kind of see what I'm doing. They're very interested, and it's been pretty cool. And this is just a way of getting out to a few more people and hopefully helping a few people get started. So this morning I want to do something a little bit different. So far I've really only talked about real estate specific skills. But one of the things that I've learned from other successful people and from the books that I've read is there's really kind of three areas that most of the successful investors develop skills in. So there's the actual real estate specific skills. So obviously if you're you're going to be an investor, you're going to have to know how to analyze a house, how to find deals, how to estimate rehab costs, all those kind of things. But to me, that's really only about a third of the skills that you're going to need. So the other third is just basic business skills. So if you don't run your real estate as a business, I mean it is a business, you're going to have problems. So basic how to manage people, how to manage your cash flow, how to scale, how to build systems into your business. All of those kind of skills, you're going to need those on top of just real estate. And then there's a third part of it that I think a lot of us don't talk about, but I think it's equally important, maybe even more important. And that's developing the right mindset to be successful. And honestly, for myself, that was probably one of the most difficult things that I had to overcome. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've done that have really helped me with that part of it, and then some of the things that I've learned just from reading and networking with other people. So on the mindset, I guess one of the things that really affects us is we have kind of an internal thermometer of what we think that we're worth as a person. And it's kind of this subconscious thing that we're not aware of. And, if we don't work on that, we will kind of self-sabotage ourselves. And we'll do it completely unknowingly. So I know this is something that I probably did earlier in my life for sure. So, one of the, I guess, part of my journey was learning a lot about psychology and neurobiology and things like that, and kind of trying to understand the link between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and how that affects our behavior. So when we are born, we're kind of a blank slate. And over time, we learn things from school, we learn things from family, we learn things from our friends, and the experiences that we have as we grow up. And those really affect the way that we think about things, whether we're aware of it or not. And some of those beliefs are good beliefs, they're empowering beliefs, but some of them are very limiting in the way that you think. So the chances are your success is very much going to be determined by the people that you're around and by your previous experiences, unless you figure out a way to break out of that. And for me, I did my best to surround myself with really successful people, but for me, it's the constantly feeding my mind with good stuff. So I don't watch the news, I don't watch TV, but what I do is I'm constantly watching motivating stuff on YouTube. And I read a lot, constantly listening to books on tape, and everything that I read or listen to is something that is going to benefit me in some way. And over time, doing that has drastically changed the way that I think about things. And I'm happier. So it's not just about money. So real estate investing, it's not just about money. It's about, to me, financial freedom is kind of one of the first steps to creating a really awesome life. And money is really nothing more than a facilitator. So if you have a lot of money, you can make a bigger impact and you can help more people. So anyway, one of the things that I did I guess I started this about 4 years ago, and it's going to sound a little weird, but it was actually meditation. And it used to be kind of this weird thing that hippies did, and I guess you might think like Buddhist monk up in the woods somewhere, but really meditation is nothing more than a practice to become more self-aware and aware of your thoughts. And what a lot of us don't realize is just how much we are drugged around by our thoughts every day and jerked around. And meditating, it takes a little while, but over time it really makes you a lot more aware of what's going on in your own head. So, the old me, if somebody yelled at me or said something insulting, I would become upset or angry. And, after several years of meditating, it doesn't happen anymore. If somebody says something to me, that previously would hurt my feelings, I think objectively about it and I choose not to become upset. And, little things like that have made a huge difference in my ability to appropriately respond to things that are happening to me. And it's made me a much more effective person. So, and happier, a lot happier. So that's part of it. And I've read a lot of autobiographies and things like that. So take somebody that you look up to. So for me, that's like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, those types of people. And you will find they are masters of their own psychology. And they are very much aware of the things that they are doing on a deeper level than the average person. And I think that is a huge factor in what makes them successful is, they can objectively think about their own thoughts on kind of this higher level. And, it's what allows them to come up with these amazing creative ideas and then actually execute on them. So the other thing is, I kind of talked about it a little bit, but we have this kind of internal mental thermometer, and that's kind of driven by this subconscious self-worth. So we don't realize it, but all of us kind of, subconsciously we have this idea of, what our self-worth is. And if we don't do anything to try and change that, it's going to cause us to self-sabotage. So for me, my original investing plan was one house per year, and after 10 years I'm probably going to get to that that financial freedom number. And then I really started thinking about it, and I read a lot more books. I read Think and Grow Rich, the Magic of Thinking Big, a whole bunch of books like that, just kind of designed to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit more. And I realized that, that was really a self-imposed limiting belief that that's all that I could accomplish. And one of the other books that I read was called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And I would say that book also really made a big difference. And basically what that book said was, it's kind of a morning ritual that I actually do every day. And so the ritual is designed to to help you focus on your goals and get a lot more accomplished. So for me, I do that ritual every morning. I get up about 4:30, and the first thing that I do is I sit down and I meditate. And that just kind of gets me into this peak mental state where I'm a lot more acutely aware of my thoughts. And the next thing that I do is I read my goals. So I have this kind of personal mission statement that I've written down for myself, and then I've got this list of the top goals of things that I'm trying to work on, and how many rental units I want to acquire, and there's some things on there related to my personal life and things like that. So every single day I'm reading this list, and it's just getting kind of hard. Slowly over time, it's kind of getting hardwired into my subconscious mind, where my subconscious is working for me instead of against me. And the other thing that I do is I do visualization, and then after that I will do a little bit of journaling, and that's basically just writing down what's the top 3 things that I can do today to get me closer to my goals. and then the next step is I'll go out and I'll go for a run, get a little bit of exercise, and then I'll start my morning. And you know, it's an hour of time a day, but that little practice has really skyrocketed what I've been able to achieve. So I guess my advice and kind of the takeaway from this morning is real estate's great. You need to read those books, but I would highly recommend, you know, reading. For every one real estate book I'd read, I would go and I'd read a book on business, and I'd go and I'd read a book on, you know, personal development. And I posted a list out there recently, but you know, some of the good ones are Think and Grow Rich, Magic of Thinking Big, Jack Canfield's Success Principles. There's a lot of books like that I'd be happy to, you know, give you. So that's really it for this morning. Thanks for watching.